A U.S. military hearing just raised a chilling question. Are we blurring the line between law enforcement and war?
As a gentleman from Virginia, Mr. Vindman.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Ranking Member. So in your testimony and the statements provided, there are a number of terms that have been mentioned. There's FTO, Foreign Terrorist Organization, DTO, Designated Terrorist Organization, narco-terrorists, narco-traffickers, transnational criminal organizations. And so this is complicated even for somebody like myself that spent 25 years in the Army and at JAG Corps Advisor. What criteria does Southcom use to determine when a criminal organization or vessel qualifies as a terrorist rather than a law enforcement target? And how do you ensure that this expanding definition does not blur the lines between military operations and traditional counter-narcotics policing?
Congressman, thank you for that, and I appreciate you highlighting the number of definitions. This is 41 days in. I have my cheat sheet because I'm learning the definitions, and specifically my authorities as a combatant commander. I can designate OTOs, and we have designated a number of the other terrorist organizations inside the Southcom area of responsibility. And once they're designated as OTOs, I have the ability to use what we call the CT, the Counterterrorism Exord, to apply different authorities and different capabilities against those threats. So that's where it starts for me as a combatant commander, is OTOs.
So you have the authority to designate terrorist organizations has been delegated down to you from the SecDef?
Per our current XORD get delegated by the chairman of the Joint Chiefs Staff, the CT XORD, I go through a process, and the process includes submitting that request up for approval all the way to Sec War and above, and then back down if I choose to designate them OTOs.
Okay, gotcha. Please proceed.
So at the same time, the term DTOs, identified by the President of the United States, is a term we're using now against cartels, non-state armed groups are now designated as DTOs. Their actions constitute an armed attack against the United States, and the U.S. is in a non-international armed conflict with these DTOs. Any action we take, whether that's enhanced counter-narcotics or a maritime strike, are tied to the DTO definition.
And is that tied to their activity? Like, are they directly participating in hostilities or just on their status?
We base that on the actual definition of a terrorist organization, and we have, it's those armed groups that are impacting a threat to U.S. personnel, a threat to our partners.
So that's hostile act, hostile intent. That's status-based targeting. Is this status-based targeting, or is this, sorry, that's action-based targeting. Is this status-based targeting or action-based targeting?
Congressman, I want to make sure I understand the question, because in the targeting process that we execute right now under the law of armed conflict, we have a certain criteria we go through for the actual targeting process itself. Is that the question, Congressman?
Yeah. Let me because I'm running out of time here. Do you have lawyers that are advising throughout the targeting process, correct?
Absolutely, Congressman.
So, and this is from Mr. Humeyer's testimony, there are 45 total kinetic attacks, killing 157 members, and 47 narco-trafficking vessels. How many survivors in those strikes?
Congressman, so just to clarify, on the designated terrorist organizations, that's illegal.
The boat strikes, how many survivors out of the...
I defer the operation aspects to the Southcom, but just if you want me to clarify a little bit, designated terrorist...
No, I just want to know the number. Any sense?
Congressman, I'm tracking the numbers you've offered, and what I'm focused on ever since I took command 41 days ago. Then I would have to get back to you in the number of survivors, Congressman. I don't. Let me.
2 is my understanding, and so my question is this: we heard Secretary of Defense this weekend talk about no quarter, no survivors. Has an order been issued to you on no quarter, no survivors? General Donovan?
Congressman, that is no.
No. And would you consider such an order lawful?
Congressman, I'm personally responsible for upholding the core principles of necessity, distinction, proportionality, and humanity, and that's part of my targeting process.
I mean, this is a sort of like basic question. Is a no quarter, no mercy order lawful or unlawful?
Congressman, I would not follow an unlawful order.
Okay. Well, that's an unlawful order.
This exchange wasn't normal. When lawmakers asked about labeling criminal groups as terrorists and whether that opens the door to military strikes instead of arrests, the answers got vague, fast. Because once you redefine a cartel as a terrorist organization, you're not just fighting crime anymore. You're fighting a war. And when the question, no survivors, even enters the conversation, that's not policy, that's escalation.